Hello everyone, it's Shane Kanto, your Wasteland reviewer, and I'm here to review Robert the Bruce. And this is a long-awaited sequel to Braveheart, which I doubt that most people knew this was coming, nor thought this would be coming, and thinking about why would there be a sequel when William Wallace died. But this is a sequel kind of spin-off of the character Robert the Bruce, who, obviously, these are all real people, but a lot of historical inaccuracies, a lot of liberties were taken with the story of Braveheart. But Angus McFadden, who apparently this was a passion project for because he produced this and he returns as Robert the Bruce, and he gives a very quiet, kind of subtle performance in this film. Because if you're expecting a film like Braveheart, you're not getting it. This is a very quiet, kind of introspective look at a myth of this man, Robert the Bruce, who tried so long to really bring freedom to Scotland. And he's on the run, he's injured, and he's brought back to health by a small family, small group of women and kids, and it's really about the relationship he builds with them and that more personal look at what he represents in terms of freedom for our Scotland. And it's pretty well shot. Like, it's beautiful. Looking at all the mountain landscapes and all that kind of stuff, it's really good. And it's really well shot. When it does get actiony, it's not the most well shot action, but it's intriguing because I was really hooked from the beginning because it starts with showing this story that this woman is telling these kids about how Robert the Bruce came to blows with this one particular lord, and it's like Angus McFadden fighting Jared Harris, and Jared Harris is fantastic and is great in this scene. And then the pacing just slows to a halt for a long time in this film, and it was way too deliberately paced, and I got bored after a while. And yeah, there were some powerful character moments, but in general, this film just takes itself way too long to get going. It's a 2-hour film, which compared to Braveheart, that's chump change, but for the story that it's telling, it felt way too drawn out. And in general, I feel like this film's a bit of a misfire, but you can tell the passion that went into it, and you can tell Angus McFadden really wanted to make this film, and he gives a strong performance in it. In general, I wouldn't really recommend this film unless you're really into like period pieces. It really captures that look. And maybe if you're just really intrigued by history and might enjoy this little more of a slice of life kind of thing. There isn't big historical moments in this film. It's very interesting, especially because you had The Outlaw King with Chris Pine that came out from David Mackenzie that tells the story of Robert the Bruce after the execution of William Wallace. This is a very different film, and honestly, if you're going to pick between the two, I'd definitely go and pick The Outlaw King. But if you're intrigued by this idea and want to see what it has to offer, go check out Robert the Bruce. But those are my thoughts on this film. Let me know what you think, and let's talk some movies. But thank you as always for tuning in and supporting your Wasteland reviewer.